So we can have like I said, more an open slot, then I will come and present a bit more about Forward and how everything fits in. So I think today, let's maybe just have an open conversation about all of it and see or what everybody thinks or any opinions about it.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, go ahead. Like that's a great proposal. You are aware about this protocol. It would be like really good if you can provide like a 15-20 minutes presentation, the possibilities, the insights, and there is one thing which would be great to have.
Yeah, because like I say, I think they've got their product looks very good. If everything's successful as they say, I think it could actually work very well, because it's also the co-owners. The one guy is actually from South Africa and the other guy is from India.
So just for those who are watching this session, like we are talking about Forward protocol, and Eco is recommending like some interesting things they are developing. And this was in context with the NFT, ArchiDAO things we are developing. So
yeah, we were currently looking at the learn-to-earn model by using Forward protocol or leveraging their smart contracts that they are busy building. Because so there's just a normal proof of ownership. If you deploy a course, it's under your ownership and you actually get the remuneration or the money and the certificate at the end. But
you say they are not live yet?
So at the moment, in beta, I've only a few keys for people to play around. So I think the plan is on the roadmap. If I remember 100% correctly now, it's Q3 or 4. They want to launch their chain as well, the Forward chain. So how I understand this whole thing in the easiest way, maybe in layman's terms, to explain it, and correct me if you see something different, but it's like a DAO situated on its own chain that that links into all EVM chains. So it can link, it goes into, I think ZK Snarks also into layer 2s as well, like Polygon is also here. So you can deploy directly through them onto any EVM compatible chain.
Yeah, it's written. Also, there is this really good article where blockchain interoperability and like Octopus versus Cosmos. It was like HackerMoon, yeah. And so like Polkadot has its own like like this like XMP like messaging protocol of talking between sending and reading data between chains. And so they're using Cosmos SDK, and says will be EVM compatible. Yeah, so
yeah, maybe if you check on their website, they've got a very high level of how they explain the ecosystem. If you, I think, just go down a bit, there should be a diagram down, more down. I think it's, yeah, there.
Oh, this one?
No. Yeah, that one. That's a very high level and nicely way to explain it, actually, or to see what's happening.
Oh, so we are creating a factory address of like, so yeah, like it took me like a while, like, so I think like when we create like a DAO, and like this is for people watching, when we create a DAO, let's say in Aragon or any other DAO framing network, we basically are creating an instance, and what they are doing is they have like this various frameworks like Molech framework or any other, and you're creating a factory instance of that smart contract. So this is how like they're creating a template library, and say it's forward factory. So we'll have our own instance.
Yeah. So what they're trying to do is as you see on the second step, the smart contract template library, they will build their own templates as we just saw with those other, the proof of value delivered and proof of ownership, and then they'll also allow other developers to actually write their own smart contracts and actually also put it on this the template library, which I think the template library is actually like a marketplace in essence, also where somebody can put their code, and if somebody else uses it, they will get paid for the transactions. Then those contracts goes into the forward factory, what then pushes out the instance that gives you the instance of the deployed contract. And I think then it goes, then you can see it happens where they take their revenue sharing a little bit as the DAO, or what I want to put in inverted commas, the DAO aspect of it, and then it gets deployed on whichever network you want to deploy it. So I don't think, like I said, I must still go a bit deep in the technicals, but I don't think you ever deploy it on their chain. I think you deploy it straight onto the EVM, and then their chain takes revenue off of that with how they write their codes. But this, like I say, this I need to go and check up a bit better before I say too much. That's why I think it's better just to keep it high level now.
Yeah, like what do you mean, like when the smart contract is not deployed on chain and directly on EVM?
I mean, it's not deployed on their chain. They don't, as I understand it, they are not creating a layer 2. They
it's application specific chain, like this app chain.
Yes, something like that. So their chain, in essence, is a way, I think, to control it by proxy. I'm thinking this, to control the contract on EVM, and then you need to pay in the forward token for those transactions. You don't pay gas fees on those EVM networks, but you pay in the forward token. So in essence, the forward token is the utility of using their whole system.
Yeah, so yeah, that's one of the thing I want. So like in Polkadot, like, so there is like the blockchain app chain is also interesting discussion. Maybe at some point we should have in the Dev Guild. So like Polkadot, like in order to get one slot in the Polkadot, if you have your own app specific, like you need to bid and it's very expensive. But like the app chain borrows the security and decentralization of Polkadot. Now in Cosmos, I think the app chain figures out its own security and deployment. They are running their own validators, but it comes at more speed, but at a compromise of security. So like,
okay. Because I know there are also, just to touch on another topic there, where you say the parachains link in, Ethereum also has like layer 2s, like Scale. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've ever heard of Scale, where you also just plug it in, and then your whole ecosystem is just on your little mini chain, if I can call it that.
Yeah, like Scale, I used it once in a hackathon, and they have really good integration of like storage, like decentralized storage is also built into the chain, and like good UI UX. Yeah, so this is like the Cosmos hub, near hub, Polkadot, and so the question I was thinking, like it says it's compatible with EVM chains. So what about non-EVM chains? Like how do the interoperability and messaging works?
Are you talking about forward now?
Yeah, I'm just thinking of forward, like looks like.
Yeah. Because now that you're saying this, and again, I don't know too much about the Cosmos SDK. So there on that previous diagram, it showed the Cosmos SDK actually linking in with Nia. So I don't know if there's interoperability between using the Cosmos SDK and then deploying on EVM, and then being able to actually bridge through Nia to Polkadot. But I think later that should become you can directly bridge through that. But again, I need to go deep in the technical side there to understand.
Yeah, like this is complex. Yeah, because I was what was this bridge? What was the hack on Solana bridge? Which bridge was it on?
Ooh.
It was a wormhole. Yeah,
find it is Rect on the Rect website.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
you should have. Oh, okay.
I think like wormhole is pretty interesting of like cross chain. So like I was doing this deep dive, okay, what actually means when you are like bridging from one chain to another, like creating an instance, burning tokens, things like that, and also that chain recognizing there are other people with the same token, so combining that. So they do NFT bridging too, which is super interesting. But
yeah,
then when I started discussing deeper, they like if your, let's say, NFT is on Ethereum, they can create an instance on Polygon by bridging it, but then they own the contract on Polygon. So like if you have things like royalty and things like that, it becomes tricky compared to like tokens.
Yeah, that is interesting, bridging the NFT.
Yeah,
I haven't actually gone deep into that to see. You can what's it, bridging between layer 2s and layer 1s now on EVM, though. I'm not even sure. I must actually go check that. I haven't played around. But I also, if you're interested in layer 2 information, I've also, in the chat, I put a website I found actually today listening to the Daily Gway podcast that gives you all the information that, and then here is a very nice Excel table on the security of each on the layer 2s and how it actually works. So there it says what the
Binance is a side chain, right?
Yeah, it's a side chain. It's a centralized side chain. I think, yeah, I would say it that way.
Now that I realize, we should make like some Google sheet or like on GitHub, like list of some good resources. It'll be good.
Yeah, I can definitely actually start adding a document like that there, just to catch up.
Yeah, like there's also a lot of discussions. I was in so Polkadot has its conference. Man, we are like getting a bit sidetracked from the updates, but like Polkadot Decoded, it's their annual conference. So it was like a couple of days ago, and they were talking about their light client like solution. So they are like one of the first, and I might be explaining this very like basic. Or so basically, like when you access from your MetaMask, you have like this RPC node which you connect and you're talking, and that is very like susceptible to like centralization or like some errors and things like that. So with this light client, they are providing like a browser-based querying and things, which was pretty interesting, like a decentralized approach.
Yeah, it's almost like IPFS that the what's it, the extension, like in my Brave browser I've got the IPFS extension, so I've got my own IPS node in my Brave browser.
Oh,
something
okay.
similar to that, right? Or you can also download the IPFS desktop app and then run a node, but just by having the extension it automatically connects. So whenever I play around and test a few things, I just drop it on my own node and then it goes directly, then you can get access to it quickly.
Yeah, I have used that, but at some point it was like making my computer shout a lot, so I installed the node.
Not enough RAM.
Not enough RAM. Yeah. And I was like, wait, is someone mining on my computer or what? Like, it was so loud. Yeah, that is one thing I want to. So Polkadot announced, and so in the Polkadot Explorer, like similar to Etherscan Explorer, like now you could enable the light client feature in the Explorer and it queries, and it's almost the same. And I've also seen a lot of discussions about around MEV. Like I need to do that, some deep dive later. Are you aware about MEV? Like it was very.
Yeah. I can't. I remember reading up about it, but I can't go too much in the details. I just know it's where the miners change the blocks a little bit to actually get more Ethereum, right, or get more rewards. Something.
Yeah, I'm not super familiar, but there's a lot of things coming around.
Yeah, there's a lot of new. So when we did the consensus course, there's only a few hacks out, but now there's a lot more hacks where I haven't clued myself up technically wise in that regard.
Yeah, actually, while we are like, if we are developing
There's
this,
so
like
many new
these.
things coming out.
Sorry.
No. It's fine. I'm sorry. I didn't.
Yeah, I think like while we are developing this NFT for like ArchiDAO, like if we are getting like people's data and their credibility history, I think like Ceramic is an interesting protocol we should also check out, because decentralized data network.
Yeah, because they are the first people that I saw that do the DNFTs, or they started with dynamic NFTs a while back, but I haven't dived deep with them. I got sidetracked.
Yeah, there's so many things. Like I think like you can create a data stream and like you can have some composability around it. So even I need to spend time, but like this, we should just maybe like plan a weekend where all of us like can do like deep dive into some protocol, test it, because hands-on.
Yeah, exactly. We can sit together and do it together, because there's a lot of fascinating stuff out there. Just need to get time to start playing with it.
Oh yeah, I agree. This and Lens protocol is like on my like bucket list for a while. Have you tried Lens?
No, explain a bit more about Lens.
Oh man, so this could be like a next way of like connecting, like monetizing on your social graph around this collect. Let's say you tweet, or you are like tweet collector. You can create a substream of people following you and like paying you for your recommendations. Like a lot of people are developing like decentralized Twitter, decentralized LinkedIn, and like for that knowledge graph, social graph, they can develop on top of Lens.
Mhm. Yeah, I saw something quickly about it, but I didn't understand it actually totally. I didn't go so deep with it. But so what do you mean? It's how does it? Oh, yeah. Wait. Let's maybe see it because I still don't understand this totally how it works.
Yeah, like user owns open social graph. Create profile, collect, follow. So it's like more like instead of like your data carries with you. It's so I attended this talk.
It's almost similar to our ID NFT, not idea but concept, right? That you carry your data around with you. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think if we know like a structure, that this could be also interesting research because because
Yeah, we must actually note some of this. Sorry.
yeah, that's why I started live stream. We can always like note and refer this later. So Disco protocol, I don't know. So it's also on similar lines. Like you wherever you get login, you carry your data pack, and things become interesting when the application becomes dynamic and responsive to your data pack. So
Okay. Yeah, that's actually interesting.
Disco XYZ, bring all yourselves. So I think like for our NFT, it might be worthwhile spending some time to discuss like the social graph, the knowledge graph around like is there, because we can have like a linear or like dictionary, computational design skills, or let's say coding skills, but there could be some correlations and hierarchy. Okay, architect, and then computational designer, like, I don't know, like some characteristics. Yeah, Disco XYZ. Maybe I'll also share it in the chat in case.
Yeah, I think definitely have to discuss this or check what there is, discuss it, and then need to make a decision and try and stick with one, and then start getting involved with their community and their developers and see, because everybody's looking for integration, right? Or everybody's looking to partner up or looking for affiliates and stuff. So yeah, we see which one works the best for us and then just dive into them.
Yeah, I think like ceramic lens and disco would be good because a lot of our products or smart contract is developed around identity and the data are used, and this guy is like have like done work around decentralized identity. So like
maybe even chuck in Chainlink in there to see where they are currently, or their types of DNFTs.
Chainlink.
Yeah, Chainlink also has a, I wouldn't say they're as far developed as like Lens and Ceramic, but they also have like a, I can't remember what they call the function, but it fetches the data in intervals. So you can also
Chainlink keeper. Yeah, I know.
There we
I
go,
tested
keepers.
this. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. With the changing of the weather, that NFT with the weather changing NFT kind of thing. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's built. Then you have to build it from scratch. With other stuff already have a platform or foundation.
So Chainlink keeper like does like that kind of automation, automation calls, but also there is they have competitor, and shit, I forgot. It starts with C.
Who does what? Sorry.
Who also does like smart contract automation where
Not
let's
Seller,
say
is it?
which one?
Seller, or that just layer 2.
Not seller. It was. I can maybe share it later. it was trying, like, it's difficult every time. Let's say you want to do like automated smart contract call, like every day you want to mint one NFT, like Chainlink Keeper, you can program it. But they're also like this, they have this another competitor who are doing it in a different way, but same intention. So I just realized like we, like for our smart contract, there might be like things like, what if someone creates multiple identities, multiple wallet? Are there other wallets credential transferable, or do they lose everything if they start from scratch? Like, okay, if these
But
guys are doing verifiable credentials and things like that, like, sorry, you were saying something?
oh no, no, I was just thinking about the verifiable credentials. Wait, sorry, I've actually just lost my train of thought. Yeah, but about losing it. Okay, no, sorry. Please continue.
No, I was just thinking like few of this platform are like working on like people potentially gaming the system, so they have things in place for verification. And like even like this guy saying you can port your data. So if we want to have like cross app integration or cross blockchain integration, where ArchiDAO data pack or credentials can provide some additional benefit of other metaverse integrations, you can look into it, because it says you can unlock access into other apps and spaces.
And this is on Neo and Disco. So is Disco then, does it incorporate, is it like agnostic, blockchain agnostic, or?
That is a good question. Oh, does Disco only work for Ethereum? Just for now.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, everything, well, not everything, most of the stuff is still EVM based.
But I think
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was thinking about the KYC. Like if you KYC somebody and they lose their credentials, but yeah, you still won't have it because you don't want to store the data on your centralized service. The KYC is technically just a formality for the government, right?
Yeah, unless we can provide the function where we give the option of them like pinning it to IP address.
But you see, that's where you mean like with the credentials to an IP address,
or no, if they have that data pack, they can choose, okay, pin it on like decentralized storage. So even if you lose your hardware access or whatever, like something on, but like I've seen people like using the IP and local browser, local storage or cache, and integrating the local session storage. But you were saying something.
Yeah, no, I'm just like I said, this maybe just a brainstorm or thinking out loudly, but I know what Forward is trying to do or doing with their Forward ID, it will be almost like an ENS domain kind of thing, if that makes sense, where you can add different wallets onto that ID, and then from all the different EVM chains, of course, you could probably potentially get money or get forward tokens, I would think. And that forward tokens you turn into the FUSD, their stablecoin. And then you need to build on top of that, or within that, you build metadata.
Interesting.
And then, then you have your own ENS or own identity in essence, or own domain.
Yeah, I just had a thought, like maybe like like, let's say I have like 5 different wallets for 5 different like needs, but I'm still doing the same task across this different wallet. What if the app or NFT is linked to a multi-sig which has all this wallet rather than one particular wallet? So I can add or remove wallet if some wallet gets hacked, or it also becomes tricky.
Yeah, because that wallet will only be to pay in the yeah, there's a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, I think like
especially
these protocols are very early on, so it might be like I'm like quite excited what these guys are doing on your content,
yeah,
on
definitely.
your social media.
You know what we could actually also do with all these, what we should do is after we've researched or played around with their systems, we just arrange a call with their team and see if there's a possibility or what they can tell us, what we know about their system and how we think we can integrate, and then they tell us if they think it's actually plausible, if it actually works, or it can work.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe like we can just join their Discord and we can ask questions. So see, like they're already like developing like social network, mobile app. So this is gonna be like a whole ecosystem in itself of all the social. I might have a YouTube soon here. This is gonna be a difficult choice for all the DAOs, and like which ecosystem to commit. And what if there's another ecosystem which gets bigger and there are more community adoption? So
yeah, you see, that's where I don't know. Everybody's probably starting to root for these interoperable chains or a way to bridge between any ecosystem. At the end of the day, I think that is probably the holy grail of this whole thing: is finding a way to make everything interoperable without a big fuss, if I can call it that. Because like even with optimism now, if you withdraw, I think it takes about 7 days for them to confirm everything there. So, but I think, of course, that will all go quicker. If you go through a different bridge, you get your money quicker. But I think optimism is doing it, well, the correct way, right? Making sure the security is as high as it can be. Because that also should not take that long. It should also be within instants, I feel.
At some point I was thinking, wait, why are we paying so high gas fees or something? Doesn't it make sense to have architecture and construction specific app chain? We decide the security validators and we don't pay that high gas fees. We only pay for whatever we use.
The thing is also like, I also feel, and think this is also, of course, has to be a discussion. I still feel EVM chains, all the EVM chains are viable, definitely at the moment probably the easiest, the best options. But we're gonna have to decide if we want to go on mainnet or not, or like you say now, go into a side chain and do it a bit easier, or make it easier, because there is quite a few options out there. It's probably just about which one is the best. And that's the difficult question, to figure out which one's going to be the best for us.
I think like maybe like for short term, we can start with the smart contract, see how it adopts. Until a point, we have this heavy traffic where there are like thousands of people requiring fractionalized real estate, fractional NFT real estate, and then we say, okay, let's do this app specific chain, because all these applications would be way faster, way efficient, and way more interoperable if we have this dedicated chain.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Babi Shri, do you have any questions or comments?
We haven't even said hello to them.
Yeah, like I
I don't understand everything. Definitely not enough to have questions, but I love Lens protocol, and I also inspired a little bit in it to develop something in the last hackathon that I joined. But what I don't know, I feel that I'm gonna have to rewatch the recording like 3 times to get everything that you said, but it was very, yeah, I mean, in a different level of comprehension in this subject. I definitely agree with the last part. No one knows on what chain we should commit, and gas fees are very, very important subject to get to decide what type of voting system we're gonna have, and we cannot definitely decide that for every decision that we make on the DAO we should pay gas every time, because it's gonna make everything impossible to follow. And also just a little bit feedback on the presentation that you did in the last call. Like, it was super hard to follow. So whenever, if we're gonna present this for people who are not developers, we are definitely gonna have to try to deal a little bit with the simplification of it. I even tried to read it along on the GitHub, and it's hard to understand from a perspective of an architect who is not that much deep into this subject. So maybe for future, if we want to share this with other people in the DAO, we're gonna have to work on simplifying the words or the understanding, or creating some kind of a video that would make it more accessible. Like the word that I most like, right, Mayor, accessibility. That's probably because I don't access everything myself, so I understand in my skin the problem of everybody else. But it's been great just to hearing you, but I cannot add anything. Sorry for that.
no, like, even I don't understand most of the things. So like, you are not alone. And if we are not able to explain it to you, we are doing bad job, because then how are you gonna explain to the whole community?
It's a deep subject, and it's so complex and has a lot of different branches and alternatives, and so many words that we don't get everything. So definitely a thing to keep in mind for whenever we're gonna present the strategy for non-developers.
Yeah, I think that's actually great that you say that. So maybe when we do these presentations here, we make some notes about what is not, or what are not normal terms, or just a way to break it down, like maybe a glossary, do a glossary or something like that. But instead, but yeah, that is actually good. And very good.
Even if in the very beginning, if we could start with like a 2 minutes for dummies explanation, exactly what you're gonna explain later, but getting into a simplified version. So this way we could probably understand the whole rest of the things. If we would get a simpler intro, I think it would be very helpful. I don't know if
I would also request, like, if you have any doubt, like when you're listening, it would be good if you ask right along the way, because even in video, like some people who are watching might have similar doubts and need more explanation. So like, don't hold it back for the last moment. Just stop us.
Got it. Okay, I'll keep that in mind for next time. But I'll stop you every time. So that's the bad part.
What?
But
I will stop you every 15 seconds probably. So that's why I think that the 2 minutes for dummies, that would be great and very helpful. Definitely. Shri, can you please
we don't mind 3 hours of meeting, so you can ask every 15 seconds.
All right. Okay, good. Thanks. Appreciate it.
What do you think, Shri?
Yeah, I think what Barbara said is correct. Since I'm not from developer background, so most of the part I don't understand, but yeah, I'm trying to get little bit.
That's awesome. Thanks for joining this call. I think you learn a lot by listening. And one thing which you're gonna trying in this call is exploring what are some cutting edge development going on in blockchain at this moment. So all the things we mentioned are quite interesting, and people are still developing it or experimenting with it. So if we are just aware about these terms, we can think about, what could be interesting use case in architecture or construction using this technology, or can we experiment?
Right.
Yeah.
I heard these protocol names, but I never read about them in detail. But joining these calls, I'm learning about them in detail.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's what I think we should do. Maybe each week we cover one protocol in more detail, and first half an hour next week let's just cover Lens protocol. What can we do? What are its pros and cons and things like that? So we can progress.
Right.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then if we see any value in it, we try and have a testing day. We all sit together, maybe just play around with it and see how it works.
Yeah, that's what I do in most of the hackathon. I just okay, let me try the cool things of all the protocols and mix and match. All right, so yeah, I recall the name, Hiko. So it's called Gelato. Okay, it literally took the meaning. So yeah, automated smart contracts on Ethereum. This is on the similar lines of Chainlink keepers.
Okay.
Automate your smart contract. So for all people, the problem which is a bit complex, where in Web2 world, let's say you want to do daily backup and do daily task, people do this cron jobs, scheduled task. But in Web3 for smart contract, there wasn't a protocol doing that. One could argue, okay, I can have a timer function in my hard hat, which makes function call every 24 hours, but it wasn't that easy for setup. Here it becomes very low code approach of scheduling this blockchain calls, and actually it's more secure. What if someone accesses your computer and takes your private key from your wallet when you're making this hardware, this function calls from your hard hat or whatever framework you're using? Here they're in Chainlink keepers, let's say, okay, let's hire a third party, a person, a provider who's making these calls every, let's say, 24 hours, and pay them some tokens or gas fees to do that, to make all those transaction and calls. So we are automating that on chain. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's all. It all goes. The automation is on chain itself, also.
Yeah. Then things become interesting and quite complex. Well, let's say you can also develop some automation calls where whenever, let's say, Barbara's make a token transfer or NFT transfer, it triggers another automation where, okay, let's mint 100 tokens in some other area. Smart contract relationship and triggers automation is quite interesting. Or maybe check how many tokens Barbara is spending every day. If Barbara spends more than $1,000 in tokens, maintain NFTs, or if it's less than 1,000, don't maintain NFTs. So that conditional logic, even with time-based, like do analysis, is also interesting. Okay, Barbara.
Yeah. I've been playing with timestamps in Solidity, but it doesn't always test. And just to test normally is always so easy, especially in Remix. But yeah, nice to play with the timestamps and see what you can do with it.
Yeah, like I think in Remix or blockchain world, like the way you access time is like using like that time block timestamp, right? There's a variable.
Yeah, but I haven't found a way, and I don't know if Remix can fast forward time, because in your tests, if you write tests, there's specific Open Zeppelin helpers that you fast forward time so that you can test it and it goes through. But I don't know if Remix has a fast forwarding time function or a way, because yeah, it's blocked up timestamp, and then you just add plus 30 days or how many hours or something. So it is quite easy. You don't need to type it in Unix time units, which makes it a bit easier or nicer, just more readable.
Right. So wait, where was I going? Actually, just to wrap up today's call, I know we are already an hour. It should be okay. We Hiko, we initially when we started this dev calls, we were making like daily summary notes. Oh man, it has been.
It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, we like make, okay, what are the actionable items? Now I look at this. Whew. June. Okay, 3 years of coordinator boot camp. All right, this is public accountability, but the penalty is not very big, so we are moving. So yeah, actually, like I had like this NFT consultancy smart contract, which basically what it did was you define, let's say we have this 3 services, design services, coding services, and another one. You can read in the NFT itself, you can decide what's the rate of each services. And then you can also add logic that, okay, first 100 hours, I'm going to sell it at $50, next 100 at 75. So like you have like developed indirect credibility of like doing more job, and things become interesting when each of the client who buys this NFT, we have this like SVG NFT, where the SVG reads from the variable data. So in your OpenSea, you could see, okay, Hiko's NFT has, okay, you have 5 hours of design services left, you have 7 hours of developer services. And you can add now more interesting ecosystem where you can now trade hours of our consultants. So you can buy like 50 hours at $20, whatever. And a year later, then you can sell it. So because you believed in us. Awesome.
Yeah, that's actually a cool concept. It's like selling future value of work.
Correct. Yeah, it's human capital.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Anyways, yeah. So that was our initial, which we want to. Maybe you can also review and provide feedback. I have the smart contract, but for any like dev consultancy, like third-party consultancy, ArchiDAO does, we want to use this contract with them. So let's do the latest. So on 4th May, like what we decided, I think one thing which we might need more faster actions would be if we are deciding a bootcamp in August, like like ideally by mid-July, we should be done with all the structure, course content, and spend like 2 weeks in marketing.
Yeah, I haven't actually checked too much how far or what exactly in the course, what content, what is there stuff about the content that we want to put in the course already, or do we still have to decide what content goes into the course?
Yeah, so I think like, let me share this. This was our initial discussion. So it was a 4-weekend workshop, and you can see here. I just saw, okay, yeah. So first weekend, we thought, okay, let's cover basics. And one main focus we wanted here, okay, sorry. You can ask me to zoom in, sorry.
Sorry. I'm just so used to going into the screen.
No, my bad. I was like, is this enough or should I zoom more? Okay, so this was like very brief distribution where we cover basic blockchain, NFT. We're also using this in protocols. I don't know if you know Superfluid. Are you heard about Superfluid?
I heard about it, but rather show me.
This is like quite interesting. I have done some experiment. So it's like programmable cash flows, and this concept itself is like triggers me sometimes, where you can, for example, let's say you want to rent your place. Instead of like having upfront capital, you can say, let's take in this, and you are dripping me rent every day in my account, and things become interesting when I can say, okay, I have this NFT, and I say I want to give 10% of my salary to all these NFT holders. So then you can also program, and if this NFT holder switches hand, it directly goes to the new holder. So like things become quite interesting.
Yeah. Yes, like free micro transactions.
Yeah, actually, yeah. So yeah, it's they have like testnet integration, so it's pretty interesting.
So what are they? A full blockchain?
No, they're not like, they're providing smart contracts templates. So for example, I want to drip you USDC. I say I have $500, and in next 2 months drip $500 to Hiko. So what I basically am doing is converting this USDC to their own SUSDC, like other own like local currency, and then it's dripping every time, and it goes in your account where your account shows as USDC. And then when you convert into USDC, then you can actually use it in your assets. So
yeah. Okay, I understand. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
That is interesting.
All right, we got distracted. Yeah, so like things like that, where how can we use Chainlink for like IoT integration in our day-to-day life. So getting more focus on AEC specific work where we can teach them, and then if there are like 10-15 people, we can form like a teams of 3 and then ask them, can you present what AEC specific smart contract idea or app you want to develop, and then we mentor them to like develop that idea. And then last week is like more kind of advanced network. I think gas station network is also one thing I want to apply. So for people who are hearing gas station for the first time, so it's like, let's say you want to develop a decentralized app, and first of all, it's challenging to get users. If they're first-time user, they need like gas money to do transaction, buy your first NFT. You can, like in Web3 world, you can have this like customer onboarding cost or like customer acquisition cost, where you say, okay, I will pay the gas fees on behalf of my user, and I create this gas station network where, okay, user says, do this transaction, it passes a relay message, and this gas station networks say, okay, I have money and I can do the gas transaction on behalf of this user, and do that. So you basically fund this gas station with some gas like money, and all the people who are using your dApps can use this like fuel.
Yeah, that's also cool.
Yeah, so this is in it would be
It all
good.
depends on gas fees on that specific time when you're launching your dApp.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've actually seen this in the Open Zeppelin contracts. I haven't played around with it though.
Actually, yeah, I should add one more thing here. Like we should also cover like DAO smart contract, because one thing I want to like also discuss is like the time lock contract things we have in Governor, like compound time lock. So how this works and various types of DAO. Like it took me a while, like actually what is DAO contract actually mean? Like it's like based on trigger events and immutable, irreversible things based on a certain conditions as plus it's like DAO smart contract is not that different. It's another kind of smart contract. It took me some while to like, oh, gotcha.
Yeah, just to get to grips. Yeah, no, I agree. Also, just to get to grips with it, I understand how it gets put together. In the beginning, it looks very funny or strange.
Yeah. Because like things become interesting. Like literally, we are using standard templates where, okay, if I want to pay Hiko, I make a proposal, and if the proposal passes, automatically Hiko gets money from the treasury. But like we decide what conditions. Like I can also say, what if every time Hiko does job, let the treasury mint an NFT, ArchiDAO NFT or token and give it to Hiko. So that kind of customization and things is not explored yet. I haven't seen much people like, okay, what are consensus-based actions?
So similar to that, where when me and Theo played around with Colony DAO, on there, they were busy developing ways because they already had apps built into their DAO or integrated, and then you would be able to import a function from a different smart contract and then access it through Colony DAO. And then, well, if it's a famous app, they would probably integrate it later. So they have got that customization also in there, and I think that is quite difficult to a certain extent to get the customization for everything, except if you build it specifically. Then, of course, it goes a lot easier because you only have to work with a few contracts. But like Colony DAO, that's trying to do a whole DAO or build their own DAO ecosystem. They have to integrate a lot of different apps. If you want to go and lend on Aave and then actually take it to Compound and go and do something there, those two have to interlink through Colony.
Interesting. Oh, they have the SDK. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so we were playing around. They also have a very fascinating or interesting model of way of doing choices, or making proposals actually, and passing proposals by staking. You need to stake the token you have in there, and then their governance system goes, it works automatically. Nobody has to say yes for it to go through. It goes through automatically, but you can dispute it. So they assuming that everything is okay until somebody disputes it. And then it has a timer, and to dispute it, you need a certain amount of stake to be able to open a dispute. And then you need other people to build on top of that stake to make the dispute more recognizable, or I don't think that's the right word, but it makes it the weight of the dispute more. And then in that way, that whole or that choice or function call doesn't go through at the end of the day. But yes, they had a different interesting model compared to like Aragon and other stuff we've seen. It's always where you have to vote for something you want to happen, instead of it happens already until you say no, or until enough people say no, and then you decide that vote ratio or whatever.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we need another discussion on, let's compare all these platforms and like, yeah, I think like their extensions, like I was looking at like this sounds interesting. Like, streaming payment.
Yeah, so they also have like their own little smart contracts that you deploy within them. So you can deploy like ERC tokens through them and then use that as your staking token, if I remember correctly. I haven't actually been on there in a couple of months. I was actually see how far they are now.
Uninstall. Interesting.
Self-destruct.
Yeah, actually, like that's one thing. It's good that you brought up. Like, we might also like need some discussion, like how can we have our NFT smart contract with upgrade function, but also like manage it like in where you can easily add extensions, like similar if the DAO, maybe if we create, like if we gotta maybe imagine this like if we create this hierarchy, and this could be a factory or address where all the AEC firms can make a instance and they can use it in their own form. They don't need to go to our platform to use it. And then they say, okay, I don't want to use the template A, I want to add extension of using local code or local integration, and then they can add that module. It's already complex. I'm making it more complex.
Yeah. No. It's good thinking about this, because it makes the rest of us think also in like different ways. So it's good to think complex. I think it's then just at the end to rein it back in, but that's perfect. Because there is a lot of things that are unanswered so far in creating in creating a DAO from scratch, because I see there's a lot of people trying it, or not trying it, let's say doing it, but there are so many different consensus models or models how they achieve their voting and how it happens. And as we already know about, you can't just have the token for voting, because then somebody just buys the whole token and then it's a takeover.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, if we are creating like DAO contract from scratch, like it's in our hands, where you can say, okay, you need to have ArchiDAO NFT for voting, and we can also have condition minimum 100 tokens to be validated. But then we can give like add some weight function or some added benefits that, okay, if you have a credibility score where you have done 10 projects in ArchiDAO, maybe give extra 2 votes, and like, that would be, because like nothing is right. Like even token based has pros and cons, NFT based has pros and cons. So why not like mix everything? And some might exploit the token, but they might not be able to exploit the credibility score. And some might have a lot of NFT, but they are not doing anything in token. They're not like staking something like out of personal wallet or something. I don't know.
Yeah. there's a bit to think of, and that's where what I've been or looking through the ecosystem and stuff now is I feel it's very difficult to start it from scratch, in where I feel it's better or easier to build or leverage on top of somebody or other protocol that's already doing it or has similar values or similar structures to what you want to achieve, and try to work with them and build on top of the ecosystem, I feel, instead of going from scratch. Because from scratch is, I feel, hitting your head against a wall, because a whole time until you go through it. It might take a while, but there's a lot of people doing it.
Actually, when I meant from scratch, is like I'm like building on top of, let's say, Open Zeppelin's templates of like various governors, because a lot of like even DAO colony or other DAO house just use this like build on top of this template of compound governance or Moloch. So
did they build on top of Open Zeppelin? I haven't checked the code yet.
Yeah, actually, DAO house is someone like they are building on top of like Moloch smart contract. So they have this template. I don't know. Yeah.
And then they would customize it, because that would be what their base, and then they would inherit that and then customize their different functions and stuff through it.
Correct.
But Open Zeppelin is very legit, though. Of course, I also, if I start writing a smart contract, that's the first place I go.
All right. So then maybe like, oh man. Okay, let's wrap up the call. Where was my? Okay. So maybe we can add DAO smart contract and how to upgrade smart contract, because you might make mistakes and then you want to upgrade. So how to do that? But okay, you know what?
Right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that we should actually arrange a talk about that and see what nice topics you can bring in if it's over 4 weekends. What I'm trying to say is maybe elaborate a bit more on what we already have there.
Yeah, for some reason I need to sign in and I need to like find my password and that things. So yeah, I was about to make like another document and add all these discussions. I'll do this after the call. But so Bobby, if you have time, like we can meet during the weekend for half an hour to discuss in detail about the scope, and then even ask like, I don't know, Hiko, if you're interested, you can join it. So we are like basically preparing the structure of the workshop, and so getting like a mini microsite. Oh man, they removed it. Yeah, like some microsite ready where, okay, what is the content? This is a lot of work.
Is it a site where you create courses, like micro courses or mini courses? Like
it's just for marketing, right? And because everything's gonna be made through Zoom.
Yeah, like we'll be teaching on Zoom, like something like more on this line. Okay, we have like 4 weekends, 20 chapters, and each week these are the exercises, prerequisite, or some like
Detailed content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can on the weekend. Just let me know when.
Yeah,
yeah, same here. I also don't mind. Saturday is a bit difficult, but Sunday should be fine. But otherwise, just if we maybe join if I join that the Signal group, I can keep a heads up or check on that.
Yeah. So let me then schedule a tentative call, focus just on ArchiDAO bootcamp on Sunday tentatively, and whoever wants to join. But like, I want to get like 70-80% of this scope done in like 2 hours, and just get it done, because I know Shri will join the bootcamp, and there are a few people who said they're interested to join the bootcamp. So we gotta do it.
Yeah, no, it would be. I think it would be cool.
All right.
Especially the AIM blockchain with the AEC sector, because I don't think there's anything like it except the blockchain construction consortium that they have the weekend or a few days where Theo also presents and stuff.
Yeah, that's how I started. My Theo did a workshop.
Same with me. It's 2 years ago. So I was joining there, and then afterwards I realized Theo was also doing a consensus course, and then I actually started talking to him.
Wait, maybe I was there in the same 2 years ago consortium.
Yeah, could be.
We're in the same call. All right. I think, okay, did we miss anything? So maybe Theo can maybe next time can present more descriptive things, how we divide the task for NFT smart contract. So that is the goal for the summer, smart contract bootcamp. So you're going.
Yeah, I think that's maybe probably of the importance now is doing a little bootcamp and getting people within our community even just a little bit more clued up or a bit more understanding of what's going on. So it's nice and easy and fluent to talk, and people actually know where to go get information.
Definitely. Next week, Simon is going to present about Near and his work. So you have 30 minutes presentation for that. So.
Yeah.
And then maybe next week you can present about future forward protocol.
Yeah, that would also be cool. Yeah, I was actually looking forward to. Sorry, continue.
No problem. I would just say that we would be 1 week from the bootcamp, so maybe either we will need more meetings adding additional to this one, or we are planning too much for too little time as usual.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's meet on Sunday, and I could foresee what you're saying. I could already see 1 weekly bootcamp meeting and 1 weekly dev meeting, weekly core group meeting, weekly install, weekly workshops.
Probably.
It's every night.
Yeah, and don't forget community calls.
And it's difficult to work in a
Mars and the Mars XR project also going on.
Oh yeah, the Mars
project. That's tomorrow, because I'm thinking now we have a lot of people interested, but we must try and refine where and how, because I think we are definitely spreading ourselves thin and trying and doing a lot of things.
Yeah, but you have also
very short
time.